And they talk about what they describe as a new race row in the aftermath of the fallout from the Windrush scandal. What are they suggesting? This is all to do with the upcoming elections.
They're suggesting that the government's trials, which say that some sort of ID must be shown before people can vote, is likely to end in discrimination against ethnic minorities, because ethnic minorities, either as the Windrush story has shown, might be less likely to previously have got identity papers, or because large numbers of immigrants may lack those sorts of papers too. You could argue that, of course, it isn't just ethnic minorities who are likely to be affected by this. It's also feared that older voters will be in some way affected. Arguably, they're slightly misrepresenting the trials, which are far more light touch than this implies. And of course, I don't believe the trials involve photo ID at this stage. The government would also argue this is already done in Northern Ireland, and that this has been proven to be necessary because of electoral fraud that has allegedly taken place. But coming on the back of the Windrush story, this is problematic for the government. There's no disputing that, because it highlights that age-old tension between the Tory party and ethnic minority communities, just as it's about to be a massive poll in London.
Indeed, we only have about 30 seconds, Rachel, but is this something that concerns you?
It's not just ethnic minorities, it's also working class people and lots of other people who don't have ID. They're mostly Labour voters, and there's 28 cases of voter fraud in the last election. It's minuscule. They're mostly Labour voters. It's also working class people and lots of other people who don't have ID. They're mostly Labour voters, and there's 28 cases of voter fraud in the last election. It's minuscule. It does not justify identity checks for elections, which will disenfranchise people.
Okay, very succinctly and beautifully done, meaning that we can end the paper review in good time.